Travis Wingoodcell. I got caught up on the weekend stuff, so I'm ready to get going on new stuff for today. The state of Utah as a Mormon. We found out that because of 2 weeks ago, when I was reporting how we had dramatically increased in new cases to over 20%, 2 days in a row. That's why the the White House had the report that we were supposed to go red, because that put us over 10%. And that's the reason why. And yet, during that whole last week, instead of going to red, Herbert kept us at yellow and green, despite knowing the statistics as I know them, because his department are the ones who put the stats for us to all look at and monitor for ourselves if we choose to, as I chose to, because I don't trust the government. And so any statistical information I'm going to keep record of so that I can verify what's coming out of their mouths and identify when they're outright lying to us. And they've been outright lying to us on a number of occasions. And so the question is, why? Why Herbert? He's a Mormon. He doesn't want to hurt Mormons, does he? He doesn't want to murder Utahns. You know, it's his last time in office. He wants to perpetuate Spencer Cox for governor. And he succeeded in getting Spencer the primary position. So why would he be deceiving Mormons and Utahns? Why would he be attacking us with the protests, calling for the police to beat us down into submission, telling us to go home and quit protesting, telling us to stop the violence as domestic terrorists, when the cops are the ones dressed in military gear with their military vehicles, and being caught on camera assaulting an elderly man. And yet ABC4 News Utah thought they had a story, and they started to run with it, and then it died. Now ABC4 News Utah is back to behind the badge, the heroes of our police force, and all that other nonsense, when it's still too early to promote authoritarianism again. And this is the state we're living in. So why? Why is Herbert doing this? Why is Herbert attacking us? We are fellow Mormons, aren't we? You know, when the impeachment trial of Trump was going on, I emailed my congressman and senator. Ben McAdams was the congressman, and he understood and voted on party lines, but he had, I assume, a Mormon background to justify why he was going with the party, not just because it was with the party. And Mitt Romney, he only did half, voting yes for the first count, no for the second. And the second one was what mattered. But because he voted yes for one of them, even though it didn't matter, Romney became the target of hate and violence, and death threats from his own party members for disloyalty. You I've gone over how the GOP have the logo with the inverted pentagram on the elephant. That was changed back in the Nixon campaign. And so the Utah GOP have the inverted pentagram following along. And of course the GOP, being the dominant party here in Utah, where do they get that symbol from? And so Mitt Romney, I told him about Moroni chapter 29. Don't allow him to be king. The Senate acquittal will establish him as king in America. And so, he only went halfway. So he betrayed America. And as a result of his halfway loyalty, he was still assaulted by his own party members. And that's what Mormons face when they say, hey, no, that's a violation of the Book of Mormon. And you should know better as a Mormon. Mormons in authority come and crush you. How dare you challenge us with the Book of Mormon? How dare you challenge us with Joseph Smith? And so the low-level Mormons, I'm able to crush them easily when they want to attack me on my channel on YouTube, because they don't know the level of knowledge, the pyramid of knowledge. This was had in the Freemasonry. This is where they got it from. And the lower levels are just people who do it for social reasons, to be a part of a brotherhood, to be a part of something popular in the culture. And so all are invited to attend, and if you desire to become a member, you've got to then show loyalty. So Joseph Smith Sr., to show his loyalty, as he was interested in Freemasonry and the Yorkites, named his son after Alvin, Hiram. Spelled it Hiram, as in Hiram Abiff, Hiram. And that's on the court documents, the spelling. And so yet you'll still have Mormons who are a part of this QAnon disinformation campaign to destroy America, getting caught up in it. Oh yeah, prove it! Show me documents! Look them up for yourself. That's what I did with a former subscriber. She presented me with a document without presenting the document. She only talked about it and only quoted from it, not gave me the whole link or anything. So I went and did it myself and then went back to her comment so that I would know what she's talking about before hearing what she was talking about. And so she's been banned from my channel for her abuse, because that's what it is. She was trying to confound me, thinking that, Wilford Woodruff said that the keys of the priesthood were all given to the Quorum of the 12. No, they weren't. The document was either coerced, as he was about to die the next year, just as Monson was unable to work, but they perpetuated the lie that, oh yeah, he's still functioning, he's still doing work, he's still signing all these documents. He had dementia and he had diabetes. He was in no position to go to work. So, whether the dementia was Alzheimer's, I'm not quite sure about it. But it's just the cover-ups, the lies, the deceptions. And yes, it's the church behind the perpetuation of the virus here in Utah. Because I read to you from the church's own website as to why they're reopening the church on Sundays. And it was because we will only open when the government leaders tell us we can do so. We will only open them according to them. And you might think, oh, okay, wow, they really care about us. When you understand, no. When Herbert hears something like that, that puts pressure on him to open up Utah so that church can resume, because the church leaders want church to resume. And then they add on top of that Bednar talking to the BYU Law, which then gets full Mormon coverage. So Herbert finds out about it, obviously, that the coronavirus is taking away our agency, and the wearing of masks are taking away our agency, and we need to go to church to show our defiance of taking away our agency. That's our religious freedom. And yet, the virus got worse and worse and worse. And so the church, realizing that Herbert could no longer go back and say, oh, we got to go back to wearing masks, even though he did, but it was only after the church said, Mormons, you are now ordered to wear masks. The church. And yet, Mormon moms in Utah make national news that they are not going to give their kids masks to go back to school. They're going to expose the kids to the virus and expose their teachers so that the teachers will not be able to teach. And so if their kids do survive, they'll have no teacher. So the kids will be stuck at home again anyway. These are the consequences. You can't just be a denier and not have the consequences. That's the one thing that should tell deniers they're in the wrong. With the anti-vaxxer movement that we had here in America, what was the consequence of not giving your children the vaccines as a kid, one of which was for prevention from getting measles? Right, yeah, they all got measles. We had a measles outbreak. As we had the vaccine and were giving them to kids as they were born to prevent it, and we got rid of it from America. It was gone. The anti-vaxxer movement rose, and the consequences followed. Do what is right, consequences follow. Do what is wrong, consequences follow. And so now it's the masks with coronavirus. Oh, everything's so confusing and contradictory, so I'm just going to do whatever I feel like. Really? And what will be the consequences of doing whatever you feel like up against a virus that requires a vaccine? Not a flu shot, a vaccine. Like we got as children. We were being experimented on. And those who were dumb are suffering the consequences of their stupidity. And we're seeing it in the church. We were warned to not be deceived in the latter days. And Mormons got deceived. Just like the woman who thought that she had confounded me with Wilford Woodruff's testimony right before he died. That is the state of Utah and the Mormon Church.